Radio Raheem here with Michael Yormark of Rock Nation. You've got two huge fighters that are relevant right now. Obviously, we're here from Miguel Cotto. When you made the Cotto Kirkland fight, what did you feel like was the most value in this bout?
We looked at it from an entertainment perspective. You know, we wanted an opponent that could get into the ring, that could challenge Miguel. As Miguel said, you know, earlier today, the reality is he looks for the best fight he possibly can. We know it's, you know, this is not going to be easy for him. I mean, you know, Kirkland is a formidable opponent. He's always at his best with Ann Wolfe in his corner, and we know he's going to be at his best on February 25th. So we wanted the best opponent we could get for Miguel, but we also wanted an opponent that was going to bring it, an opponent that was going to fight hard. We want an action-packed fight. We want a brawl. We'd love to see a knockout, and I think you're going to get that on February 25th.
I know that you've taken exception with how some of the media has approached the pay-per-view aspect of this fight, so it's up to the promoter oftentimes to make that case and why it's worth more than free television. So in this case, what has bothered you about how the media has approached the pay-per-view, and why are they wrong?
I think my biggest issue is that they isolated their comments on this fight. This is an industry issue. You know, pay-per-view is not what it was, you know, a year ago, 24 months ago. Since the Cotto Canelo fight, you've seen a drastic decline in pay-per-view numbers. I think the business model and the industry has changed, and so we in the sport and the media, you know, have to change expectations. Who's to say that a fight that does 200,000 homes isn't successful? Who's to say that if a fight does 150,000 homes, that it's not a successful fight on pay-per-view? You know, we're used to seeing the Manny numbers, the Pacquiao numbers, the Cotto Canelo numbers, and that raised the bar to such a high level. Most fights can't reach that bar. So instead of the media taking a step back and evaluating for what it is and where pay-per-view is going, they look at fights and say, you know what, it's not pay-per-view worthy. It's not about being pay-per-view worthy. It's about resetting expectations and understanding what is successful in the new world versus what's not successful.
And to that point, and before I let you go with your other fighter, it's just hard to call him an other fighter, Andre Ward, a superstar, how does that model inform what fighters should be getting paid? There's obviously a problem here that he stated with negotiations of whether or not he's even considered retiring if he can't get the money he wants. Where's that money supposed to come from? And can these pay-per-view numbers support the kind of paycheck that fighters like Andre Ward want to get?
Listen, I think everyone, you know, has to do a bit of a recheck. You know, and so I'm not here to talk about, you know what fighters are compensated and how they're compensated, but you know, we're all in this game to make it successful, and fighters and promoters, the HBOs of the world, the Showtimes of the world, we all have to work together to make these fights work, to make them economically feasible. Because if we can't, we're not going to see fights, and we're going to see a major decline in the sport. So it's all about economics, and it's all about us working together to find the right solution so that we can all be successful, and most importantly, we can create great entertainment for our fans.
And last question, Michael. We've talked to Kathy Duva, and she claims that you guys agreed to all of these terms for the rematch ahead of time, and there shouldn't be any real negotiation sticking points with them. So where is it that Ward is looking to renegotiate it? Is it a problem with main events, or is it in-house?
There's no renegotiation, you know, and no one has agreed to all the terms. As I have said, and I'll say it again, Andre, post-fight, made it very clear that he wanted to enjoy the holidays. He wanted to spend time with his family. He wanted to celebrate and cherish, you know, a huge victory in his career, a monumental victory in his career. And then after the holidays, we would sit down and discuss what the next steps are. That's what we plan on doing. That's what we will do over the next couple of weeks. If there's something to announce, you know, at that time, we'll make the announcement.
Radio Raheem with Michael Yormark. We appreciate the time. Thank you for putting together some great fights, and we'll see you in Texas for Miguel Cotto versus James Kirkland.
Thank you.
Thank you.